Hi, I'm Miss Dionne, and yes, once again, I'm filming a video in my closet. Today, I want to talk with my dear friend, Dionne Peters, who recently had 4.5 feet of water in her house after Hurricane Harvey, and had mentioned to me about the concept of a bug out bag, which after we talked about it, we thought might be something that could be really useful to a lot of other people to know about. So Dionne, why don't you start with telling everybody, what is a bug out bag?
Basically, it's a bag that has all the things that you need to live off of in the coming days after you've made a quick getaway from your home during a disaster or during any type of crisis. So concept came to me in talks with a friend that's a doomsday prepper. He has hazmat suits and phone cranks and, meal and dry prepped meals.
And you had one of those handy to put in?
No. But certainly this flood taught me a lot of things on what I need to have ready to grab and go. And because I packed a bag with things that I really didn't need or things that weren't necessarily useful, or I left out a lot of items, really made me think what I should have packed and
to be better prepared for next time.
Right.
So we're going to pack a bug out bag now. So maybe we should start with what you were wearing that was helpful. So I think you had said you were wearing water shoes.
I was wearing water shoes.
And like the ones over, let's show them the water shoes.
I went into about 2.5 feet of water and walked out into a boat. So I was wearing water shoes. I had on a pair of workout capris, a sports bra, and a tank top. It was raining still. I should have had a rain jacket.
And then we have
and in case of another flood, I'm definitely going to get a pair of waders.
Oh, okay.
So that would make the water shoes useless, but
since you were wading through some pretty high water and it's nasty flood water, I know after I just bought some of those tall boots because we had to clear things out. So that's one of those things.
And those only go up to about 2 feet.
Yeah, they only come up to
if you're wading through waist high waters, you want some waders.
But this was important because we still had a few rainy days.
Yes.
In Houston, it's probably going to be hot, so having one that's a little bit lighter weight is helpful.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Great. Okay.
I had on the clothes on my back. I did pack 2 sets of T-shirts.
Okay,
short sleeves. I wish I'd have packed 2 long sleeve T-shirts.
Because in Houston, it's hot outside, but it's 68 degrees inside most places you go.
Most places. And so whether we were sitting outside of a FEMA tent and in the heat, it's great to have short sleeves. Or inside a building in an office, it was great to have long sleeves and or a hoodie.
And then you had also mentioned jeans.
Yes.
Because jeans, you are, again, the cold places, but then also shorts.
And some people want to be a little more fancy. My suggestion is in the coming days after a disaster, you want to be as comfortable as possible. There are long lines. You're waiting around a lot to hear answers. So jeans or some shorts, it's good to have. And I recommend 2 sets of clothes so that you're wearing some while others get washed.
Okay.
We were fortunate enough to go to a hotel and they had
a washer dryer.
Right, for the public to use.
That's nice.
But you don't know where you're going to get displaced. You could be with friends and family and that's great, and maybe they could lend you clothes, but you just never know.
You never know. You also said you had 3 cars.
3 cars that flooded out.
Spent a lot of time on lots, so having a hat.
Yes.
Was helpful.
Yes.
Okay.
Astro's hat.
And was that
comfortable shoes?
Comfortable shoes.
Yes.
So you said
sneakers.
You were able to change sneakers, and then you said you were able to change quickly.
After I got off the boat and I had the wet water shoes, I packed a pair of flip-flops so that I could change into that, and then we can go to where we were gonna figure out what our next steps were.
And then underwear, I've got a sports bra here. Socks, even though it's hot, it's nice to have those to wade around, to pad around in a hotel room. And that was it for clothes, right?
Right. I dropped the ball on toiletries for myself.
Okay, toiletries. Let's talk about that.
Right.
So I always keep this puppy packed, and you said you have one you keep packed too, but you had an interesting point about that.
The one that I keep is very similar to yours, and it's for travel. I know I'm going somewhere. It's with my luggage.
With your luggage.
that's fine and dandy. But you want one specifically packed in your bug out bag.
Right.
You don't want to have
It
to go
just
look in your
stays
luggage and then put it in there. So whether that's a great solution.
We talked about this because I use a special kind of shampoo for my hair, and you had a really good point about that, you think, well, the hotel will have shampoo, but
I like the way my things smell. I like the way my lotions smell and my face products. And so to have your own in those stressful times, it's the little things that offer creature comforts.
And a lot of those lines, like the special one I use for my shampoo, they'll have like these little travel kits. So just having those ready to go, and then we talked about maybe you check on them once a year.
Make
maybe
sure
the
things
beginning of
didn't
hurricane
dry
season
out.
here, make sure they didn't dry out. Okay, great. So you got that, and then it takes up a little less room too.
Absolutely. Right? Toothbrush, toothpaste, hairbrushes,
good stuff.
All that as well.
So, and then you had talked about jewelry. So
right.
Talk about that a little bit.
Probably one of the most useless things that I took with me. However, I was glad that I did. I don't have very much, but I did learn that a lot of my neighbors were victims of looting and lost their jewelry and silver and
so at least
some
the
other
most
items.
important things, the things, not the costume stuff, but the stuff you can't replace, right?
Right.
Okay, and then we also talked about along those lines your computer equipment,
important documents and computer equipment. So what I did immediately was I grabbed my phone, grabbed my hard drive, grabbed my computer. And I put these.
And you said you got your power cords.
And power
so I have
cords.
like one of these little
Absolutely.
things that has multiple attachments.
Absolutely. Power cords. And I had these in their own plastic bag, tied off with a knot, and then it went inside this bag.
Okay. All right. So we know. We'll keep that. And then for the important documents, I think you had a good point that you and your husband keep those already in a plastic bag in a safe. So all you have to do is grab them and put them here. And then what about medications?
Yes.
We had talked about that. I know you said you don't necessarily have any.
Right.
I do have some I have to take every day. I know my brother's diabetic. He has to have his. My mom had enough for a couple days, but then as you had mentioned, you had water in your house 14 days.
We can get into anything.
Sometimes it makes sense to make sure you grab a little bit more of those.
And know where those are.
And then along those lines as well, I wear contact lenses. I always forget to bring my glasses with me. So that you just brought up an interesting point too, knowing where things are. Mm-hmm. So I know there's a couple of things that I would want to grab that I'm not sure off the top of my head where they are. So maybe having a list and just knowing where you've got all the things on that list.
Keep that list in the bag. When you open it up.
in the bag. That's a great idea.
Open it up and make sure you have those things as you're heading out the door.
That's a great idea. Oh, and wallet with your health cards and your driver's license. And then the other thing we talked about was, sorry, I know this is crinkling, maybe having some protein bars.
Yes. I'm always hungry.
Kids like chewy things. Yeah, I'm always hungry too. Okay, so do we have anything else we forgot over there?
Nope, we're all packed.
So this is our bug out bag. Now you had an excellent point, and notice I went with a little bit smaller bag that was kind of mushy, and that was because you went with a very excellent point that
as much as I wanted to utilize my luggage, I knew that we were going into a very wet situation, getting on and off a boat. I had my husband, my son, and we packed our duffel bags, then we placed them inside a tall kitchen bag or large trash bag and knotted the top off and just slung it over our shoulders.
You were able to do, and that was important because I probably.
And honestly, when they were helping us on the boats, it was great just to be able to toss this on, and we were able to bring ourselves off. So it's completely sealed.
Great.
And as it turns out, I did see several suitcases fall into flood water as they were exiting the boats, and I'm sure they were able to salvage everything, but that's it. Their clothes are wet now, and how can they change into them?
And they're in nasty flood waters. They need special treatment. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Dionne. I really appreciate your spending time on this, and I am so excited to shoot a video in your closet when we recover it, the new improved version, which will be your silver
hopefully
lining.
in a few weeks.
That is very exciting. So thank you very much, and we hope you found this helpful.